How do you tell the difference between a man who genuinely loves you and a man who is simply benefiting from your fear of being alone? South Korea has one of the lowest birth rates in the entire world. Not just in Asia, in the entire world. In recent years, the number has dropped so low that demographers, people who study population trends, have described it as a situation without modern precedent. Entire government programs have been created, significant public money has been spent, and serious political attention has been directed at trying to reverse this trend. And yet the numbers keep falling. Today we are going to talk about why, and specifically what this has to do with the conversation we have been having about women, age, and the pressure to get married. First, let's look at what is actually happening. South Korea's total fertility rate, which is the average number of children a woman is expected to have in her lifetime, has dropped to historic lows, hovering around or below one child per woman in recent years. For context, a country generally needs a rate of around 2.1 to maintain its current population without relying on immigration. South Korea is nowhere near that. Marriage rates have also been falling consistently. More people are getting married later or not getting married at all. And among married couples, many are choosing to have fewer children than previous generations, or none at all. The government's response has largely been to try to incentivize marriage and childbirth through financial programs, baby bonuses, parental leave policies, housing support for young families. Some of these programs are genuinely well-designed, but they keep underperforming expectations. And the reason, if you listen to what young Korean women are actually saying, is not that they cannot afford children. It is that they have looked carefully at what having children inside Korean society currently costs a woman, in career and personal freedom, in the imbalance of household and childcare labor, and they have decided that no financial bonus makes that cost acceptable. This is a crucial distinction. The falling birth rate is not primarily an economic problem. It is a cultural and structural problem. It is what happens when a society continues to expect women to carry the majority of domestic and childcare responsibilities while also participating in a demanding professional workforce, without meaningfully reorganizing how those responsibilities are shared or how women who step back from work are treated and supported. Korean women are not failing to have children because they do not know how. They are choosing not to, at increasing rates, because the system as it currently exists places a disproportionate burden on them and offers insufficient support in return. And here is where it connects directly to everything we have been discussing in this series. The same cultural framework that tells women they have an expiry date, that their worth is tied to getting married and producing children within a specific age window, is the same framework that, once a woman does marry and have children, often treats those children as primarily her responsibility. The pressure to get married is enormous. The expectation that she will carry the household after marriage is also enormous. These two pressures exist in the same cultural package. And increasing numbers of Korean women are deciding that the package as a whole is not something they want to accept. This is not unique to South Korea, though the numbers there are particularly striking. Japan faces a similar demographic crisis for similar reasons. China, despite having actively encouraged more births after decades of limiting them, is also seeing fertility decline as women gain more education and economic independence and begin making different choices. The pattern across these countries is consistent. As women gain access to education, careers, and financial independence, and as they develop a clearer picture of what marriage and motherhood will cost them within a specific cultural context, many of them decide to delay, limit, or opt out entirely. What does this mean for the conversation around the marriage pressure we have been discussing? It means that the pressure is not just failing morally, it is failing practically. A society that spends decades telling women their worth decreases with age, and that they must get married and have children to be complete, and that simultaneously offers those women an unequal and unsupported domestic life after marriage, is not going to produce the cultural outcomes it is supposedly trying to create. You cannot pressure people into choices they have concluded are not in their interest. Or rather, you can try, but the results we are seeing suggest it does not work. The more productive conversation, and the one that would actually address the birth rate, if that is genuinely the concern, would involve asking honestly what would need to change to make marriage and parenthood feel like a genuine, sustainable choice for women. Equal sharing of domestic labor. Real career flexibility and protection from others. In-law dynamics that do not place unreasonable demands on daughters-in-law. A culture that values women's contributions beyond their reproductive roles. These are not radical ideas. They are the basic conditions under which people, women especially, are likely to feel that building a family is something worth doing, rather than something being demanded of them at the cost of everything else they have worked for. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe for Japanese and Korean language learning content. fun ESL class stories, sometimes even the toxic ones, plus videos about pets, plants, and anything interesting I discover in my daily life.